Tenino
This
City.
conference will now be recorded.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the January 12th, 2021 Tenino City Council work session. We have all council members present with the exception of Councilmember Rachel Davidson. We did have an executive session planned, however, we have scrapped that, and we are asking that all council members instead come to City Hall, where we'll have the executive session paperwork available for you to read. There's just some letters from some attorneys, so we will read and then discuss at a later date. So please make some time to do that in the next couple days. We'll set those out and you can get them from either Rana or Jen.
Can I have my daughter come pick it up? I'm working.
It has to stay at City Hall. I could probably bring them over to you. How about that?
Okay, all right.
Like maybe when you get home from work, or if you're at
I'll be down at the shop tomorrow night. I'll be down at the shop tomorrow night about 5:30.
Okay, I'll be at work, but
Okay. Well, the next night or the next night, either Thursday or Friday is fine.
Okay. Sounds
yeah,
good.
I'll be there Friday to get mine or to look at it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So that leaves nothing on the work session. So we can move reports to there unless anybody has any topics that they'd like to discuss. Anything offhand? Okay.
Nothing from me.
Okay. Is TRPC, I can't tell who's here or not. Is Mark Daly here?
Yes.
Hey, Mark, we've got some time on our work session if you'd like to take a moment to speak to council.
Sure, yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. I'm Mark Daly. I'm the Executive Director at Thurston Regional Planning Council. And really, I told the mayor that I was just interested. I like to get a chance to see our members, council and board meetings every now and then, just to get a better sense of what you all are working on. So I really just wanted to come see your meeting, so appreciate the opportunity. But I will take the chance to tell you about one piece of work that we're just about to get started on that I think is pertinent to folks in Tenino. And that's we're about to get started on our rural mobility study. And what we're looking at are some of those key corridors like Old Highway 99 that connect North County and South County, and looking at are there things we could do, relatively minor changes, like maybe some restriping or turn lane opportunities or something to help make sure that we have really good movement on those north-south corridors that connect North and South County. And like I said, we're just getting started on that now. Love to have a chance later on to come tell you more about it, but we'll certainly be looking to folks in your area to help us talk about some of those key connections and work out some options we might have to improve the function of those. So thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity. Good to see you all.
Nice to see you virtually. Anything else going on at TRPC?
I think that's good enough for now.
So you have a new rep from us, Cutter Copeland, Councilman Copeland.
Yep, and he attended his first meeting on Friday. So we are super excited to have your newest council member part of TRPC. So thanks Cutter for taking the opportunity, and we really appreciate it. It's great. Like I said at the meeting, it's great to see someone so early on in their career taking a leadership position in the community. It's very cool to see. So thanks for joining TRPC as well, Cutter.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it, Mark.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go on to reports. Chamber of Commerce. Economic Development Council. George, do you have a report out from the EDC?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
You see me? EDC, we're just moving forward with our planning sessions for what's coming up. Study will be this Friday. It's going to be also on Zoom. We're going to have the new Center for Business and Innovation Director, Sean Moore, be one of our presenters to give us an update on what's going on with all the Economic Development Council programs that we have coming up. We've got a scale-up program that starts tomorrow at statewide that we're running. We'll have a scale-up program start about every 3 weeks, and those are going to be 6 to 8 week long. It's going to be a self-paced economic development program that businesses can participate. We've sent notice to all the Tenino area businesses about the scale-up program as well. And then, of course, the Ag Park is moving forward with Aslan and Dave Farrell working on that. So those are the main things.
Awesome, thank you. Experience Olympia. I have not heard anything from the VCB. George, do you have any idea where they're at in their search for a new director?
I think they're still in the search process. They hired a national firm to do that search. Jeff Bowe is the interim manager. He's going to give us an update on Friday, what's going on with the VCB.
Okay, thank you. Fire District 12, Councilmember O'Callahan, you want to put on your commissioner hat? You got anything for us?
We meet on Thursday.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Library, I do not see them in attendance. Museum,
I haven't heard anything.
okay. Tenino Community Service Center. We've gotten that. We've been keeping it on the agenda. They haven't made it in a while. They've been busy. Arch Commission. Civil Service Commission. Go ahead.
Just that it hasn't started.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Linda.
No, go ahead, George.
So on the Arts Commission, we've identified people and we put the word out so people will start to be applying for the Arts Commission. Then those recommendation names will then come to the mayor for approval and the commission will get started.
Okay. Civil Service Commission met, I want to say about 2 weeks ago and they approved 2 lists, hiring lists. The police department is, with the vacancy from Rob going back to Colorado, they are working out a conditional offer for one of the top 3 candidates, and where the police chief would be providing an update on that tonight. However, her sister-in-law passed away unexpectedly, so she's dealing with family matters. Finance Committee, Planning Commission. That would usually be John. They meet tomorrow night. They do have a big meeting. I spoke with Dan Penrose quite a bit today. The big things on the agenda tomorrow, there's a public hearing regarding the paving of the parking lot behind the sandstone. And there's discussion on the shoreline master plan. Dan, Dan's got some, he wants to talk about expectations. George, I think you and Dan met recently or talked the other day, but Dan's got some more complications to layer on top of the discussion of the paving of the parking lot. So that should be an interesting discussion. It would be good if some members of the chamber that were at that meeting we were with last week or the week before that could attend virtually, so that they could hear from Dan Penrose some of the different other considerations that we have to make sure we take into. A lot of it has to do with stormwater, so be advised. Chief of Police, I mentioned that she is not in attendance due to a family emergency. Director of Public Works, they have been busy working on the repairing a screen on the headworks at the wastewater treatment plant. As always, that's usually their biggest thing. And there's a large valve in between the lagoons that is going to be need to be replaced soon, that they're trying to figure out what the costs are and whatnot. A lot of water. It's been raining, if anyone hasn't noticed. With rain comes potholes and erosion. So the rain, there's spots where rain gets underneath the roads and it blows out spots in the road. They quick patch it. Doesn't always provide for the best of repairs, but this time of year, it's like whack-a-mole with potholes. So they're working their tails off on that and just managing stormwater. City planner, building officials. So Ben Barnes has turned in his letter of resignation. The way he explained it, there are a lot of code updates surrounding the energy code that he doesn't look forward to dealing with. Essentially, you know, the guy's retired, and he does this, you know, just kind of as a side gig. And with the changes in the energy code, and he said the lack of rollouts of training because of COVID, he doesn't feel like he's going to be in a place where he could do the best job of ensuring the energy codes are followed. And he feels like the new energy code requirements are going to cause a lot of heartache among builders and developers and homeowners that he just doesn't want to deal with. So, you know, that's his choice. We respect that. He's working on some names for us. There are a couple people that he knows that may be interested in taking over. And so that puts us, Rainier and Bucota, all in the same spot. So be advised that. Public Works, back to Public Works, the mayor of Bucota reached out, and their Public Works person has resigned or retired, and they are at a lack for a water management, a WMD, water management distribution person, a water service specialist. And they are asking that we come up with a plan to see if we could help provide that service for them. Troy is meeting with Mayor Carr to talk about what they would need out of that individual, and then we'll wicker up the possibility of a contract and a partnership or some kind of our local agreement. My hope is that we can be more general and broad and offer a wide variety of services, because I would like to see something as general as possible. It's where if they had some type of road issue or emergency or something like that, and they needed our whole team and backhoes and dump trucks to roll down to Bucota, we could do that without even thinking about it. So Troy's meeting with him, and then the Mayor Carr and I are going to talk. City Attorney, I don't think we've talked since last. So Rick Hughes is going to be remaining with us for the time being. He and I talked, and he wants to stick around a little longer, especially since that we're going through with the clerk, losing the clerk treasurer position. Rick wants to stay on board, and so Rick and I are talking. He's happy to stay, and I think it's going to be it's going to make for a more smooth sailing. Mayor's report. Tomorrow I am meeting with an individual who is interested in filling in as an interim clerk treasurer. I'm not looking to fill it permanently right now because I don't like doing things in a rush. I'd like to see us get somebody in there that can fill the spot for a couple, months, maybe 2-3 months, and give us the time to slow down, take a breath, do a good recruitment effort, reevaluate the job description and pay, and try and find the best candidate we can get. Be that.
Their meeting isn't until the 25th of this month, so I won't have a report until February.
Okay. CIP. You have no mic, but I believe you said no report. Moving on.
Yeah, we don't have anybody on that position. That was Dave Watterson.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we need to put out our annual committee assignment list. Jana, Rana, can you note that for the next meeting?
Yes.
Solid Waste Advisory Board. I believe that is Cutter.
Yeah, we that was a good meeting. We passed the solid waste management plan, which had only a few revisions, so that was good.
Excellent. Steady. George.
And that meeting again will take place on this Friday, and it'll be on Zoom. We sent out the meeting notice today.
Thank you, sir. Tenino School Board, Rachel is not present. TRPC, we have them present. They've already given a report. Was there anything else you'd like to add from a report standpoint? Flashed.
The only other thing I'd add is, and you probably already talked about this, but last month our council approved the project to work on sidewalks on Hodgkin right across from City Hall. So sometime within the next few years, we'll be working together with the county to do that sidewalk improvement project. So we were really excited about that. Thanks for your work, Mayor, and all the council to help us make that happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good project. Thank you. Transportation Policy Board.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
See you
And then Ron Argent, can you add to reports EMS Council? I'll be serving on the EMS Council for the next year, please. All right, that ends reports. So that concludes our work session agenda items. Is there anything off agenda that anyone would like to bring up, discuss, ask questions
Yeah.
on?
Yes. Wayne, you and I talked about this a while back, and I've been talking with the fire department about this, about the contract. What I'm suggesting is that I be the go-between between the city and the fire department to try to get something worked out. For example, one of the things that's really touchy is the fire marshal. And for Thurston County, there really is no distinct jurisdiction that is really responsible for that. It was addressed about 10 years ago. At least this is the history that I'm
Each
finding out.
individual,
Yeah, because from what I'm seeing
Yeah.
right now,
each
the
individual
thinks
department.
it's the city's responsibility. The city thinks it's the fire department's responsibility. So I went above both of us and to find out that nobody knows whose responsibility it really is. It needs to be worked out. So I don't think this is something that we need to have more than just a consensus on. We don't need to have a vote. But if you guys are interested, I'd be more than happy to try to be the intermediary and get this all worked out. It's been a couple of
So
years.
yeah, so the two items that you are all asked to come down and review at City Hall for the executive session items. One of those is pertaining to that issue. And what our attorney is suggesting is that we walk towards mediation and have a mediator. They're suggesting Judge Burschauer sit down and provide that service. So we're asking that you guys go down, read the correspondence, and then we'll talk about what our next steps would be.
Okay. Okay, not a problem.
Is that okay? And I think you and I should just keep talking about it.
Yeah,
I think.
because like I said, one side thinks that it's the city's responsibility, and the other side says no, it's the fire department's responsibility. And in all actuality, for Thurston County, nobody knows whose responsibility it really is. It's worked out from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, and around this part of the neighborhood, we don't have anybody that's trained to be a fire marshal. The last one that we had got promoted to chief in, I think it was Winlock.
Yeah. Well, it is, there is local flavor to it, and there are different jurisdictions doing it differently. Thurston County has, in the rural areas, historically just not done the job very well. And Tenino has been one of the only jurisdictions that's had a fire marshal, because in, I want it like 1984 or whatever, when Rogers burned down, one of our citizens and former council members, I'm drawing a blank on her name. She was there when she started the farmers market.
Oh, Donna Kelly.
Yeah, she actually owned a building that suffered some damage and she sued the city for quite a bit of money. And the reason that she won was because the city did not have a fire marshal program. At the time, the city had its own fire department, and the city the fire district contracted with the city. And then I want to say in like 1985, 1986, the roles reversed, and the fire district began to be the agency that was the primary agency, and the city contracted with them. And in that, because of that shared history at the time and the understanding that fire inspections are important, the city required in the contract that they had with the district that the district continue providing a fire marshal for the city businesses. The way it sits now is it is to the best interest of the fire department to provide that service, because it's the fire department doing its job. And when the fire department does its job and provides that service, then it lowers insurance rates for all their businesses. And that's one of their primary functions, is to provide a service that's good enough to manage insurance rates, to lower commercial insurance rates. I think it's also new for them that they are actually like directly responsible for the city and not indirectly responsible for the city as they have been. And the city, stepped back and said, okay, you're responsible for all fire stuff, go ahead. They haven't gotten up to speed. There's, what is the strategic plan for the fire district? Do they have a set of planning documents that says these are our service deliverables, this is what we're going to do, this is where we're going? When they first came to us and they said they wanted to annex the city, we put an MOU out there that said, okay, we'll go along and we will support your attempt at annexation so long as you don't immediately after annexation completely pull back on services and no longer provide public education to our schools, no longer provide fire inspection, fire marshal services. We said that in an MOU. What did they do as soon as the annexation was done? They cut all those programs.
Okay,
It's yeah, it is something to work out. So.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'll bring this up Thursday night and see what we can put together. Start working on this and get it back to where it should be again.
Sounds good.
I just thought of something. I think I'll arrange to not go in real early. The city hall opens what, at 7:30? When does city hall open? I mean, how about Friday? What time?
7 o'clock. We'll be here at 7 a.m.
Oh, well, I'll be here at 7 a.m. on Friday to look at those papers. That solves that.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, are there any other topics of discussion? All right, I will call for a recess until 7:30, at which time we'll begin the business meeting. Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and welcome to the January 12th, 2021 Tenino City Council meeting. Let the record show that, well, I'm going to say that John O'Callahan's still here. It just says the computer says he just left. Let the record show that all council members are present with the exception of Council Member Rachel Davidson, who's celebrating her birthday tonight. So we have an agenda before us needing approval with the addition of excusal of Council Member Rachel Davidson under the consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
Second.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with the addition of excusal of Rachel for her birthday. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to approval of the minutes for December 22nd, 2020, regular meeting of the Tenino City Council.
Move
Move
approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the December 22nd, 2020 meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to the consent calendar. This is payroll EFTs in the amount of $26,904.17 and claims checks number 29588 through 29XXX and other EFTs. With
One
that,
second. Hold on a minute. Ronna said, hold on a second.
thank you.
Okay, this is not the correct consent calendar. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, Ronna is gonna try to give you a call so she can read it to you.
Okay, she can read it for me if it's in front of her.
Okay, I have it. Would you like me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay, consent calendar consisting of January 1st, 2021 through January 12th, 2021. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $26,440.35. Claims checks number 29589 through 29636. And EFTs in the amount of $206,452.07 for a grand total of $232,892.42. Liquor and cannabis license applications renewals for Don Juan's Mexican Kitchen and the VFW Post 5878.
And the excusal of Councilmember Rachel Davidson. Thank you, Ms. Sharber.
Hold on,
This
but wait,
is-
there's more.
Go ahead.
Stand by.
But wait,
Sorry.
that's not all.
We also did. Oh, these are the ones that you were reading right here, but the grand total has changed.
Okay.
Okay, so this is also for the consent calendar consisting of December 23rd, 2020 through December 31st, 2020. Claims checks 29588 through 299601 and EFTs in the amount of $102,028.77 for a grand total of $102,028.77. No liquor and cannabis renewals for this one.
Okay.
Now
thank
I'm
you.
done. Sorry.
Okay, and these will also be requiring your signatures as usual. So
Yes.
the consent calendar as presented, do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move to approve.
Second.
Is moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. We have no executive session. We have a presentation. Mr. Chris Colomb. During the November 24th, 2020 regular meeting, Mr. Chris Colomb addressed the council seeking relief from the excess water charges due to a leak in his household plumbing. Clerk Treasurer Millard worked up an offer settlement, but Mr. Colomb did not wish to accept that offer, but instead offered to pay more than what Clerk Treasurer Millard offered. While this seems odd, Mr. Colomb appeared before council and council accepted the $1,000 in satisfaction of the excess usage amount. Now, Mr. Colomb contends that we did not understand what he was really asking. Despite the extensive discussion of the excess usage, he maintains he was really seeking complete relief from both the excess usage and any amounts in arrears. In short, he asks the council forgive any amount due and owing up to the date of the November billing period. At the time, Mr. Colom tendered the $1,000 payment. His bill totaled $2,211.92. The payment brought the balance down to $1,211.92, and he would require the council to authorize an additional credit of $1,211.92 to bring the balance to zero as of the date of the November billing period. Mr. Colom, you have the floor.
Yeah, I guess that sounds correct after reading what you wrote. The first time that I presented the case was that, yeah, there was a miscommunication because it was a 3-month billing that was where we noticed the leak, and it was presented to you guys, the council, only 2 months. That's why it seemed very odd that that the €1,000 would seem like it would be more than what you offered. So it was just that. It was just to clarify that, yeah, now the numbers are correct in this presentation I see, and it was just to clarify that and see that if the €1,000 payment or $1,000 payment that I made would cancel the remaining balance, instead of holding that first month, which is now, Jen sent me the bill for August, which is $375. It was just to see if that could be included in this payment. That's all.
So are you asking us to erase the debt?
Yeah, in the end, yes. I mean,
are you asking us to erase the debt or to set up a payment plan?
No, to erase the debt.
Okay, under what? I'm just going to be harsh. Why?
Yeah. So the whole reason that this was even presented was, to go back to the beginning, was I didn't receive my bill. I didn't receive the bill in August and September of 2020. So I contacted you guys, the city, and asked for the bill. And when I received the bill, then we noticed that it was that there was a leak. The leak was underground. Nobody detected it. And so that's what that happened back in October. So I asked on October 26th, I asked for the bill for August and September. And there we realized there was over $1,000 bill. And then we realized there was a leak. And so that's why I asked for it, because there was, just by coincidence, I didn't receive my bill. And if I would have received the bill, I would have noticed that there was a leak. And so after I requested and received the bill, I took care of the leak, and it's for that reason.
Okay.
That's why there was an error in the billing.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
seeing
I
that.
know that.
Know if you guys understand.
Go ahead, Linda.
I am seeing a letter or email sent from Jen to Chris saying that the bills were emailed on the 6th, June 3rd, July 1st, August 4th, again, August 18th, September 2nd, October 2nd, October 27th, and November 5th. So, and you're saying you did not get those bills? Is that what you're saying? You're saying you didn't get the bill in August?
That's exactly right. And if you go on and continue to read all the emails that were sent, I requested, because I didn't receive it. I've been receiving my email bills through email for over 10 years. And these bills, the one for August and September, did not arrive. I requested those in October. I said I didn't receive my bill, and when I received the bill, we noticed there was a leak, because there was abnormal consumption.
Jen,
So
is
yes,
there a
that-
way for us to, for you to pull up your sent emails or these sent emails?
I have done that, and that's where those dates you just read came from. On
Okay,
my end, it
that's what I
shows that they sent, but I have no way of seeing if he viewed them or not, because he doesn't, there's not like a
Okay.
reply.
Okay, thank you.
So
I did,
just
obviously,
just to be clear, you were getting all your bills up until August, September. You requested in October, and then that's when you noticed the leaks were August and September.
well, yeah, exactly. But take
Just-
note that I requested on October 26th. So the consumption of nearly the whole month of October was also during the leak. So, well, exactly right. In October, I requested the bill. And then again on November 10th. And when I received the bills for August, September, October, it was up to $2,211. And so my logic, my thought was, well, since I didn't receive the bill, that the city could somewhat help and be responsible, because as soon as I did receive the bill, we noticed it, I took care of it the next day. And as I presented this the first time, the council accepted the €1,000 payment, but how it was presented to you was only for 2 billing cycles, not the third one. And so that's why I asked to come back to clarify the very first month, which was August, is when the leak had started, also be included in my request that the $1,000 payment would cover the leak.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can do what you're asking, because, the water was consumed. Even if no bill was ever sent, I'm not, the debt still incurred on your side of the meter. And so, we could potentially talk about if there are late fees that were incurred. I'm assuming that if there were late fees that occurred because you didn't, say every year Chris sends for Spain. Are you in Spain?
That's right, Barcelona.
Okay, so every year or every month you send $150 from Spain because that's your average bill, that's what it always is, and you don't worry about it. Then one year there's a leak, or 1 month there's a leak, and you send that $150 so it doesn't get all paid, and so maybe there's a late fee on top of that. I see the logic in saying I shouldn't be responsible for the late fee because I wasn't notified properly. But I'm not sure that you weren't. I'd have to verify that or not. But to completely, I don't know if we can. We're going to have to figure that out, because this is different than we understood you were asking last time.
It's
Or at least the
exactly
way it was explained. I was confused as heck last time you were here. I was like, it was explained to us you were trying to pay more than you owed us, and I'm like, I don't understand why that.
Yeah, because it was presented to you incorrectly, and I had spent several. Let's see. John and I had sent several emails back and forth, and it was very clear in the emails. You guys can pull up the emails. I mean, from the first one, I had always talked about August, September, October, August, September, October, August, September, October, and so he's the one that brought this to council, and so he presented it. I assumed, obviously, we were talking about August, September, October the whole time. And when I asked and I offered when I made the payment and asked that it be accepted as total payment, everybody said, yeah, that's fine. Obviously, there was a huge confusion. There was 1 month missing, and that's why I came back to say, of course, we're talking about from when the leak started to when it was finished, not just partial partial normal consumption.
So
And it
what
was
we
for
can
that.
do, certain, is we can talk about a payment plan. We can talk about waiving late fees if you were notified improperly. But if you're seeking complete relief, I'm not sure if that's even legal, and we're going to have to ask our attorney because, you know, is that a gifting of public funds without a valid reason? I don't know, but I'm not sure, because we get people that, you know, are in this situation quite often. And, you know, usually they live in town, and so they come before council and we talk to them, we talk about the leak, we probably go and help them fix it. But it never is the case that there's a way to just waive the fact that the water was dispensed.
Wayne, just a little bit of history. I've been 17 years paying the water bill, utility bills.
Oh yeah, I know.
Never had an issue, you know? And so,
Yeah,
and I pay about $250 a month.
you're a homeowner, man.
And so that's, I mean, the reason I'm even here to present the case is for that reason. You know, I'm not trying to get out of it. It would happen to be a coincidental thing where I didn't receive the bill through the email and requested it. I requested it. You can see that in the emails. I requested it. I received the bill.
Okay.
And this all started. So I asked the city and the council, yes, we talked with John, and he said, yes, you can accept it. And the way it's done is the way we're doing it is through council. And all we're doing now today is redoing what we did a month ago, but adding, is all I'm asking for is to relieve the $375.03 that was added on the bill that wasn't added in the first presentation. We're talking about $375. I'm not asking
Okay, so you're asking
to relieve everything.
You're
I paid
asking simply that we waive $375.
That's the only remaining monies in this, because it wasn't presented,
Okay.
the overusage in August. And so I'm bringing it back to say, we forgot to present the $375 in August, which I'm receiving on my bills every month. And I said, well, I prefer to clarify that and see if the council would include that like it should have been done the first time. So that's what I'm asking. If you can add the $375.03 bill that it was for August 2020 to be included in the relief that I made, the €1,000 payment, $1,000 payment.
Let me try to rephrase this. So at this point, Mr. Colon is asking council to make a motion to relieve him of the debt of $375.03. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Based on the argument that you weren't properly notified through the billing process, in your opinion?
I didn't receive the emails as Jen said. The dates that Jen said, I don't have any emails for those months. Okay. That's why I requested it. And it's quite odd. It's very odd because as I mentioned before, I've been receiving my bill for like 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, so if there's a member of the council that would like to make that motion, they can do so. It would require a second. Then there would be discussion. If a motion like that passes, we would of course have to make sure it's legal to even do that, and we'd have to word that up. The administration would do that. If no motion is made by a council member tonight, I will still work with Mr. Colon to try to come up with some solution to either make him happy or make nobody happy, or figure out what we have to do. So at this point, the floor is the council's, and Okay, I'm hearing nothing. Chris, I will email you, or you email me or whatever tomorrow, the next day, and I will try to go over some options on how we can get your bill straightened out administratively. But I have limitations as well. And hopefully we can come to some type of conclusion. Is that okay?
Well,
I did not hear a motion from the council.
yeah, just saying that I had spent several emails with John, and we talked about how this is solved, and this is how it's solved. This is presented to the council, and so I think we need to take care of it now, because that seems, that seems to be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Well, the council's been given the opportunity to make a motion, and I have not heard anything made. So that, I mean, that's better than getting voted on and denied, because then you wouldn't get to come back and present the same thing. So this doesn't kill the issue. This just doesn't solve it right now. But the council is not making any, I'm not seeing any movement.
well, okay, well, yes.
You and I can talk offline about it if you'd like. But we're going to keep moving on. We're going to keep moving on through our agenda, okay?
Okay.
All right. That brings us to public comments. If there's anyone in the public that would like to provide comment at this time, please do so. You'll be given 3 minutes. State your name and address. Again, this is public comment period. We have no public hearings. We have no proclamations. We currently have no old business and no new business, no resolutions, no ordinances. We've already gone over reports. Chris, you were the single thing on the agenda tonight. It's the beginning of the year. We're back to public comment period, so you can have the floor. You can say anything else you'd like.
No, just simply, I hope you guys can understand what I was presenting again. I know it was confused the first time, and they said the issue now is the 375. It was accepted the first time around, and I just thought it would be if it's the same minds that accepted it the first time. I don't understand why it's an issue when it became more clear. That's all.
Okay.
Not a big change.
Right.
The same issue, just the $375 is the difference. That's all.
Gotcha.
Anyways, thank you.
Okay, thank you. If there's anyone else in the public who'd like to provide comment, please do so at this time. Hearing none. Announcements. Mr. O'Callahan, it's your time to shine. Nothing? Oh, yeah, I knew it.
No, I've got lots of stuff, but it's all on bigger issues, nothing to do with the city.
Okay. Any other announcements? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Non-debatable motion. You all have a good night now here. Be safe.
Have a good night.